Hello, I'm Congressman Jonathan Jackson from Illinois' 1st Congressional District. Honored to be here with a dear guest friend and colleague, Dr. Vijay Prabhakar. Hi, Dr. Vijay. I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts, and I appreciate you leading this interview so we can talk over parts of African American history, my early childhood, and what the legacy of my father is.
Congressman Jonathan Jackson, it's indeed a great honor to be with you at Capitol Hill. We are going through a very poignant, emotional, turbulent time. February is the Black History Month. We are on February 25th, 2026. The world lost a legend, I would say, the modern day Gandhi, coming from India. Your father, who I dearly knew for 30 years, worked with him very closely, the Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. From his days as Doctor's Hospital in Hyde Park, where he nurtured that, and Operation Push, and especially his vibrant, dynamic role he did in 2021. He called me and said, Vijay, we need to do a press conference. People in India are dying 4,000 a day. I still vividly remember May 2021. I said, Reverend, why a press conference? What can we do? Yes, people are dying of COVID, 4,000 people deaths a day in the second wave of COVID. He said, no, listen to me. So we did a press conference, and I remember you were along with Dad, and with the Reverend, we took him to 6 major cities: Washington, D.C., Atlanta, San Francisco, Houston, and it was so powerful, San Francisco, Chicago, where we did the press conference, and he got President Biden to release COVID vaccines, not only for India, 150 countries. And India was able to produce vaccines because of your dad's role. He enabled me, along with you at the time. We met President Biden in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when they had the 100th year of the Black Wall Street remembrance in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That was, I think, in May 2021, June 1st. And Biden, thanks to your dad's great advocacy, not only for India, for the rest of the world. Having said that, Congressman Jonathan, tell us about your early childhood.
Well, I thought it was normal, as children do. I just remember the phone ringing constantly. This was before the days of voice recorders and the voice machine. So you had to answer the phone, or it rang incessantly. And pretty soon it felt like I was in the, I would describe it as being in the cockpit of American history. There was an event, just one big event I'll share with you was the Push Black Expo. And this was an idea for Black economic empowerment. There was an issue in Gary, Indiana with Mayor Richard Hatcher when Black mayors started emerging. Louis Stokes, Richard Hatcher so Mayor Stokes was of Cleveland, Richard Hatcher of Gary, Indiana. Black mayors started coming into power, and there was also the move, my father, to create an expo, an exposition of Black talent, Black trade, Black merchants. It was held at the Chicago Amphitheater, which used to be the Stockyard Inn.
Which year was this, Congressman?
This was 1970, 71.
Wow.
And that year, 1 million people came
to
the Chicago Black Expo. And it had from children's programming, Zoom, and I believe it was what's the thing with the big bird, Sesame Street, and Richard Pryor, Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin, the Jackson 5 were an upstart group. All these people, all this talent came from around the world. And so I would see these entertainers and business people at my house, at my parents' house in the evening. And after the show, they would come by, and my classmates would tell me they went to the event. Parents were an exhibitor, and I start participating in show and tell in about the 2nd or the 3rd grade because
1971.
right, because any story they had, I had like a bigger story. Oh, you saw Sammy Davis? Oh, Sammy Davis was at our house last night. You saw Marvin Gaye? Oh, he stopped by. So I said, I just won't even share my story. So it's something I stopped even talking about, but it was kind of magical to see Reverend James Cleveland, all these great people from the culture. And I realized what my father was doing was making the news, and I could hear the conversations. And the next day I would see it in the newspaper. So that's when I realized something was different.
It's absolutely magical, like your moment. He opened the doors for not only the black people, people of color like us, minorities from all across the world, who became American citizens. And it's your father who really opened the political movement for not only blacks and minorities to lead today in America. In his presidential race 1984, I still remember the words of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson from Texas, when at your inauguration, when she said, it's because of the Reverend Jesse Jackson she became a congresswoman. He led the black people and he taught them how to stand for elected officials. Tell us about how that movement caught fire and where it is today, Congressman Jonathan.
Well, I would say it was a continuation. We're coming now, unfortunately, to the end of the second Reconstruction. But Reverend Martin Luther King and my father's work with him was a culminating event in 64, the Civil Rights Act, 65, the Voting Rights Act. These things were pushing the movement forward towards black enfranchisement. I'm born in 1966. I'm the first generation of African Americans born with full equal rights. And as we speak now, those rights are being taken away. Full equal rights.
60 years later, they are being taken away, is what you're telling us.
So I've never had to go to the back of a restaurant, back of a building. I've had access to voting without having to have restricted voter IDs. I've had full citizenship. It's taken African Americans over 3.5 centuries to get to this point.
3.5 centuries, Congressman.
Yeah.
God.
If you look at 1619 to 1865, 246 years. And then
today you're experiencing.
And then 1865 until 1965 would make it 346 years that black folks had to be fully labor in America, participate in every war.
346 years
before we could have access to full citizenship. And citizenship meaning the access to vote. Only citizens have the right to vote.
Now it's 346 years it took for the black community. And today we are in the 250th years of America's independence. And you just told, or did I get it wrong, that now things and movement is there to push back that. Could you give a little light on that? What's happening today?
Well, there's a debt that is owed to the African American community, people that were kidnapped, that have labored on American soil, that when they talk about meritocracy, how can you talk about being evaluated on meritocracy when the structure has been unfair, imbalanced, and has been debilitating? And so there have been no corrective measures ever created. Every time there was a step forward, there were 2 steps backwards. When you have access to housing, then you can't get access to loans. When you have access to education, then you defund the schools. When you get access to employment, then discrimination starts holding you back. So there was never an on-ramp. This is where the thought of reparations come in, where you have repair for damages that are done. You rebuild the community, rebuild the people. Those attempts with the African American were always extremely short-lived. After the GI Bill, if we just go to modern American history, my grandfather, Charles Henry Jackson, is where we get our family name from, because my father was adopted, was working 3 jobs for a gentleman in South Carolina. When he talked back to my grandfather was accused of being a black man talking back to a Caucasian man. He took my grandfather's name down to the recruiting office and had him enlisted into World War II. That's how he got into World War II. When he came back from World War II, after the person no doubt was hoping that he would have been killed, he was denied access to the GI programs. And the GI programs simply said because men and women went to service and they had lost time. They had to postpone getting married, having children, having access to housing. They had to have an affirmative program to speed up their matriculation, to speed up their development. So programs by the federal government were put in place for housing assistance, for education assistance, for programs to get people moving on their way. Those programs were denied to African Americans. So in the Kennedy administration, they came up with an affirmative program to offset the negative action, and that was affirmative action. Here's how we're going to incorporate African Americans. No one wanted to deal with the issue of 40 acres and a mule, reparations for the harm that had been done to the community. And so that fast forwards to the effort of affirmative action. And people said, oh, that's quotas. Then they tried to massage the language. Let's have black economic empowerment. Let's work with African Americans. Let's work with minority businesses. Let's have diversity. Then let's have equity. Then let's make it inclusive. And they continued to massage down that poignant concept all the way to the point where the president last night in Washington, D.C. is once again saying, we have finally done away with DEI, that we want meritocracy. Well, you see this administration full of incompetence. You see this administration that's heavily weighted with a bunch of bigots that aren't there because of their meritocracy. It's their skin and their truth to be incompetent. And I would simply echo the words of his chief of staff, Ms. Wiley. She called them a bunch of junkyard dogs.
Excuse
this is
me?
his chief of staff. His chief of staff called her cabinet
President
members.
Trump chief of staff?
Yes.
And this happened recently?
Yes, it's in Vanity Fair magazine.
Amazing, shocking. And your dad, coming back to your dad, the legend, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, he set a whole space, a movement to have the blacks have their fair share in the corporate world of America. You know, he made it mandatory. In fact, I can recall in the mid-80s where he called upon the whole corporate world to include a black American on the board of directors. And that revolutionized the beginning of DEI. Now, the DEI afterwards involved 2 decades later, allowed not only the blacks, color people of color like us, all to use the DEI provision to get our place on the table. So could you tell us how your dad's role, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, had revolutionized corporate America to be a banster for the minority and colored people of America?
Well, if I could put one other part in there, 1984, after my father's presidential campaign, he was also fighting for gender equality, right, and said that America, if Israel could have Indira Gandhi and other women can and Goldie Amir could be in Israel, that women could also serve in the highest office of America, and challenge the Democratic Party to put a woman on the ticket. And as a consequence, Mondale, Vice President Mondale, had selected Geraldine Ferraro to be his running mate.
Yes.
And culminate that with today when Vice President Harris says she was a girl at Howard University and was going around in her Toyota Corolla in San Francisco and in Washington with Jesse Jackson bumper stickers, and that she became a vice president, the first female and first African American woman.
Absolutely.
That was on the gender. But then on the corporate side, one of the brilliance of my father's work was in coalition politics. He says, farmers, you have a problem, but it's not enough of you to make the difference.
Interesting.
African American, it's enough. You're another peach, another patch on the quilt of life. LGBT, you have an issue, but it's not enough of you. All these minority groups, put them all together, we are the majority. So he ushered in the generation, which altered the Democratic Party's politics, which created coalition politics. Out of that coalition, that's what gave the foundation for a Southerner such as Bill Clinton and Albert Gore to become president and vice president. 2 Southerners. He pulled the pieces together. Now, mind you, under the Clinton administration, Clinton never got a majority. He never got 51%. He had a plurality, not a majority. He always won with 43.
Could you repeat that again for our viewers, Chief?
He never had a majority. The
Yes.
Clinton-Gore ticket never had 51% of the electorate. They had a political plurality, not a majority. So in a three-way race with Ross Perot and George H. Bush, they ended up winning. And so Sons of the South. So a new South emerged in the electoral politics. And the Democratic base and their formula for winning now is based upon that strategy.
I mean, amazing nuggets of history you're sharing with us, and it shows the brilliance of your dad, the Reverend Jackson, to include and encourage the farmers, the Southern Bloc, to have a say in the federal administration. It's something great. Way you taught us a great lesson in history we can't read anywhere today. And continuing on your father's legacy, how would you see your father, if he is alive today, his reaction to the State of Union address yesterday?
He would be organizing right now. He would see that the president did not address the issues with the farm crisis in America. So the farmers, he would probably end up in Iowa tonight to go to Iowa, to Illinois, and to Indiana to reach out to the farmers to say these tariffs are locking you out of markets. China isn't turning their back on us. We've turned our back on the global economy, a system that America had put in place. He would say that America, under the Trump administration, is retreating from a sense of global inclusivity. So the rest of the world is outside looking aghast at what they've heard last night. He made no mention of the world economy and where we fit on the stage. He would also be aghast that in African American History Month, that he did not honor any African American soldiers from World War II. That was extremely painful. He would look at in the bleachers and see that there were only 2 African Americans that I could see that were in the press corps, that the Trump administration, under their anti-diversity and equity and inclusive programs, has knocked out a generation of young African American journalists. He would look on the military ranks on the floor and would see that there were no African American generals, and I don't think I saw any females on the military. He would say, you were trying to turn back the hands of time. And our challenge to go forward is we have to vote our numbers. 75 million people voted for Vice President Harris, roughly, and 77 million voted for President Trump. But he would tell you that 90 million people did not vote, that the majority did not vote. The non-voters won. And as a consequence, this is what we have to settle for. So register, vote, we have the power and we can make a difference. So he never turned towards despair. And he would also use the moral imagination. My father wanted to go to law school after he left undergrad. His professor was Reverend Dr. Samuel DeWitt Proctor, and he challenged my father to consider going to the seminary. Reverend Samuel DeWitt Proctor was the chancellor of North Carolina A&T State University, where my father and mother married and wed. And he said to me, Jonathan, I saw in your father courage wrapped around compassion.
Courage wrapped around compassion.
And that he would have, he could do more for his people and for humanity by understanding God's word and being able to speak truth to power than he could do in law school. He told me that law is a function of religion.
Absolutely.
And that you could learn the world through religion. So my father took that challenge, didn't go to Duke, came to the University of Chicago Theological Seminary. He had met Reverend Martin Luther King several times before, and then was offered an opportunity to work with Reverend Martin Luther King. So he dropped out of the seminary. Reverend Martin Luther King told my father, I can teach you, Jesse, more about theology in the seminary in 6 months than you can learn in school in the next 3 years. And so he took that job, left school. The AR League family, funeral home family directors, they gave him employment, gave him a place to stay. And he started working for Operation Breadbasket, the Northern Front of Economic Justice. They realized they were leaving from just the decency now to the equality. The decency was a battle they had to fight in the South. Now we had to go towards equality in the North, and that means we need to have economic justice. 7/8 of the economy was in private sector.
7/8 of the economy.
So we had to focus on opening doors, removing these restrictive covenants, stopping these bad trade agreements. And if you look at boycott, that's the way you say in the negative. But if you're talking about going into Europe, going into Asia, they call it reciprocal trade agreements. African Americans simply wanted a fair deal. We wanted to be able to work
Absolutely.
where we shopped. We wanted to be able to own where we lived. We wanted to be able to sell to the same channels. We wanted a reciprocal trade agreement, and we still need that work today.
Congressman Jackson, you gave pearls of wisdom. How well I could look sitting there. I feel it's your dad talking. You know, it gives me goosebumps. His structure, the way he talked, and where you so perfectly articulated that today he'll be organizing people in Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, the farmers, to talk about it. It's so real. Now, having said all this, you are in a position today as the elected voice of the people of the 1st Congressional District of Illinois. You're representing about 750,000 people, nearly 1 million people. You are the most chosen spokesperson to go across America to give your father's message and your own message of emancipation for the black people and people of color. How do you see yourself positioning yourself in the next few years to carry your father's message and legacy alive across America and beyond? You talked about global trade. You talked about global peace, which was not failed to be mentioned. So I want you to talk to us about what you're going to do in the next 10 years.
Well, let me tell you, I don't know what the future holds, my father would say, but we know who holds the future.
Praise
so
the Lord.
We'll put this in the good Lord's hands. And we would also say that our color is self-evident. We don't need to be called black. We know the richness of our hue of our skin. And we would also say that white America has a problem. We have to go and save all of America. If you saw that speech from last night with the President of the United States,
yes.
America has a leadership problem. The President spoke for almost 2 hours. It was the longest State of the Union address.
Was it the longest?
In American history.
250th history. My
yes.
God.
And he said the least in American history. It's going to be one of the most irrelevant conversations, doctrines that we've ever seen. And so America has a leadership crisis. We need to call it for what it is. This is the same president that I prayed before
on February 5th
at the National Prayer Breakfast, that spoke for an hour and 20 minutes at the National Prayer Breakfast and never mentioned the word God or Jesus. And now he comes back in African American History Month, can't acknowledge our history, can't acknowledge our culture, can't acknowledge any award recipient. And he's made the world smaller. He's taken us off of a global stage into a very parochial, provincial, smaller space. So we need some more people with imagination. So as soon as America can get beyond this neurosis of seeing skin color and see ideas and not just see color but see character, we're going to have to reimagine a new America.
Congressman Jonathan Jackson, you've said you have actually outlined your own job description of what you have to do, and the people of America are looking forward to your leadership. You have identified the gaps. You have identified what needs to be done to America to regain its place, glorious place in the world map, and its place in the world of Christianity and religion and interfaith unity, and in the field of human rights. America was the leading light and will continue to be the leading light. I think that mantle has fallen on your shoulders today, especially on Black History Month, with your father's soul lingering over you and the angels with you, for you to lead America out of this chaos to an era of prosperity, peaceful coexistence, and a place where all can live well. I would like your closing comment on that to our viewers as we wrap up this wonderful time together, where you've enlightened us on your father's legacy, your father's history. And Reverend Jesse Jackson is the greatest legend I have personally known and lived with. Jackson?
Well, I just want to say thank God for my father. He gives me life, and thank God for his work. And I want to say a special thank you to all the people that have sent their condolences and prayers and blessings. My father would tell me that he was a long distance runner. From the time he was 19 years of age, he first got arrested trying to use a public library in South Carolina, age of 27, on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel, where he saw his friend and mentor, Reverend Martin Luther King, assassinated. He never stopped running. And he told me he wanted to die with his shoes on. And he continued to fight, continued to be a believer, wanted to fight for personal salvation and social salvation. That was his ministry, that was his mission, and I would say, Dad, job well done, good and faithful servant. I look forward to seeing you in the morning.
Brother Jonathan Jackson, be strong and of good courage. Dad, Reverend Jesse Jackson, wherever you are in heaven today, we love you till death do us part until we meet again. May your blessings be upon America and the whole globe. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vincent Gray, and I am the National Faith Chair for the American Multi-Ethnic Commission. I just want to take some time out and just share my appreciation and love for the one and only Reverend Jesse Jackson. I was his mentee, and he was my mentor, and he taught me a powerful principle that I live by. I'll never forget, years ago, I read a statement by a gentleman by the name of Dennis Kimbrough, and this statement said that success leaves clues. And the clues that Reverend Jesse Jackson, that he left in the earth and that I now internalize is real simple, that a determined mind will always unlock doors that a racist system try to keep shut. That was so powerful to me. And so I just want to grace you with that statement and just say thank you, Reverend Jesse Jackson, for what you have poured into me, and something else that he's poured into me and also all Americans. It was real simple. He said that history is written by those who refuse to accept things the way they are. I'm going to tell you something real quick. Refuse to accept things the way they are. I wrote this song specifically for Reverend Jesse Jackson. It's simple. It's called Keep Hope Alive. That's it. It's called Keep Hope Alive. Can I tell you, that's not just a stanza, that's not a slogan, but that's a strategy to live by. Keep hope alive. Thank you, Reverend Jesse Jackson. Keep hope alive. My name is Vincent Gray, and I approve this message. Have a great day. Never let what your eyes see determine what your heart believes. Don't enjoy your day. Make sure your day enjoy you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Gotta push for what is right. You gotta stand up and fight. You can't just sit there and watch injustice, but you gotta move to make a difference.
Push for what is right.
Come on, do it.
You gotta stand up and fight.
You can't just sit there, no,
and watch injustice,
but move.
You've gotta move,
Yeah.
to make a difference. Keep hope alive. I am somebody.
Hey, we all say it.
Somebody.
Say,
Keep hope alive. I am somebody.
we all say it.
Somebody.
Say,
Keep hope alive. I am somebody.
come on, say it. We gotta
Keep hope alive. I am somebody. I am somebody.
keep hope alive. Oh, let's put an end to police brutality. Yeah,
Too many people dying.
every day in the streets. So we've got to live in peace and harmony.
Let's turn the hood.
Turn it back into community. Yeah, it's the only way we're gonna do it. Keep hope. It's the only way we'll see through it. Yeah. Keep hope alive. Somebody, I am somebody. So I'll just
Keep working, keep pushing,
a better world is waiting at the end.
keep fighting, keep trying,
Surrender's not an option, we will win.
keep going.
Can't get tired of change is gonna come.
Pressing,
Oh,
keep hoping.
together we will overcome. I am
Young America, hold your head high now. We can win. We must never surrender. America will get better and better. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. On tomorrow night and beyond. Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive. I am somebody. I am somebody. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Special gift, which you always asked and I'll always bring. You know what it is between you and me. We love you, Reverend. We love you.
And thank you so much. Thank
And you will be in Congress.
Fusion Systems and Services, a powerhouse in innovation, delivering transformative technology solutions. With our groundbreaking cloud-ready product, ITIS, leading the industry as the ultimate RPA solution, trusted by top global enterprises. From mobile application testing to middleware automation, from big data integration to SAP automation, and even Salesforce automation, Fusion Systems is your strategic partner for success. No challenge is too big. No system is too complex. Empower your business with Fusion Systems. Visit us now at fusionsystems.inc.com and revolutionize your future.
MedStar Laboratory is one of the oldest and largest independent clinical laboratories in the state of Illinois. MedStar Laboratory is a minority-owned corporation that provides state-of-the-art clinical laboratory services since 1974. Currently at MedStar, we service over 800 medical facilities, including hospitals and assisted living facilities.
MedStar Laboratories Toxicology Division, Soft Landing Labs, is a leader in drug testing and specializes in servicing behavioral health centers. We pride ourselves in diversity, where 33% of the ownership is women and 80% of the workforce is women. MedStar Laboratory prides itself in accuracy, proficiency, and dependable delivery of quality results by quality professionals.
We provide personalized service around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with professionalism at its best. Thanks to you, we are growing and offering a comprehensive range of diagnostic testing. MedStar Laboratory, your partner for progress and longevity. At MedStar, we treat every specimen as if it was our own.
Dear viewers, elevate your business to new heights and reach 35 million potential customers with Global Eye Digital. Contact us today at globaleyedigital@gmail.com or info@globaleyedigital.com. Let's take your business global.
Hello and welcome to Dr. VGP Talk Show.